you chat?
Always. Howdy.
Hey there.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
That's such an interesting question. I'm good. No, I'm good.
You're not sure?
I just like another week.
Oh.
It's Monday.
Another week being alive.
Like, it's so crazy the way I feel about Thursday, Friday, Saturday versus Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Both 3 days, but they feel so different.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, yeah.
Like Thursday, it's like hope is alive. The weekend is coming. Monday, it's like a week is coming.
Nothing good can
The
come.
British are coming.
I think unless you have like a really busy weekend, sometimes Monday's nice because it's like back to the routine. No?
I've actually been trying to trick myself because I listened to a podcast that talked about how like half of dread is a mental game. Like, things are always worse in your mind. Like, the only way through anxiety is action. So I've been trying to trick myself that I'm excited for projects that I'm not excited about. Like, I'm looking forward to Monday. It kind of works, but like sometimes it doesn't.
You're supposed to pretend, like, gaslight yourself.
Yes, that's what it is. Self-inflicted gaslighting.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the opposite of what they like have always said. Like, acknowledge that it's okay to feel that way.
No, they're saying ignore it.
Don't do that anymore.
I think maybe that was part of the problem. I feel like our generation, myself included, like, we've gone too far down the rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, everything's triggering.
I was listening to Amy Poehler's. I heard this on part of this, and then I heard it on a different episode. Amy Poehler's podcast with Hannah Berner and Paige DeSorbo. She was like, yeah, when I was young, we had no idea what anxiety was. I had a high school boyfriend who had horrible stomach aches. No one knew why. He would be like, I think about the future and I get a stomach ache. And everyone was like, weird.
But now I feel like people are too like in touch with it. It's
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yes.
they're on like a nice walk and then, they see a leaf and they're like triggering.
I'm triggered.
I remember when I saw that leaf as a child.
No, I'm saying that. Like, there's a fine line. So I'm trying now. I'm in this new phase of life. I'm like, you're anxious, move on.
Well, yeah, that is a good tip. Like just try.
Just keep on.
Because if your anxiety is a pool, you want to dive right into it.
Not anymore.
Oh, as of today?
No, a couple of days. It's fairly recent.
Like, most people are like, oh my God, this giant pool of anxiety. Like, and like a normal person who's actually like,
I'm not normal. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I am saying that. A normal person who's like actually done the work sees a big pool.
I'm sorry, are you saying I didn't do the work on this podcast? I've done so much work.
But listen, you don't like to use your tools.
I would disagree.
Okay. They see a big pool and they're like, oh fuck, here's this huge pool. Like, I'm going to have to go swimming, so I might as well like put on my floaties. And I'm probably going to need goggles for this one.
Why?
Like,
why
depending
do these
on
people not know how to swim?
Because it's depending on how rocky the waters are.
Oh, so this is more like an ocean.
Could be. Or a wave pool.
Oh, okay.
And you see your anxiety and you know that those tools are in a closet right nearby, and you're like, I'm just jumping in.
Maybe I would disagree quite a bit, but I
would disagree.
My new approach, and you can even ask your sister-in-law, friend of the pod. I was preaching to her. She took my advice. I'm now trying to approach my anxiety as a pool that I don't want to wade in. So like, let's say it's just like a big pool and the only way to get to the other side is swim. I'm just diving in and swimming to the other side. The only way through anxiety is action. I will not be paralyzed by these feelings.
Uh-huh.
And it's working as of day 4.
Do you have so much that you are paralyzed with fear by?
Not currently. So it's pretty easy to adopt this mentality. But I'm saying I'm trying to do it in small ways. Like, even like a little...
You literally had a mental breakdown yesterday.
That was 2 days ago, first of all. I have a a lot going on.
But it was over like irrational anxiety. It was literally about this.
I understand. But that's why first of all, that was 3 days ago. I've adopted this mentality since then.
No, it wasn't.
Stop trying to put me on a calendar, okay?
I'm just like confused about when this journey began.
It began a few days ago. I can't say whether it was 3 or 4 days ago, but it's new.
Does it apply to that specific breakdown?
Well, not particularly.
That's a totally separate thing.
I need a different set of tools because that wasn't like my sort of anxiety is like I'll think about something I have to do and build it into something else. And then I'm like paralyzed.
This approach only applies to really specific types of anxiety. Other anxieties.
Well, that's what my Zoloft is for.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but what I am going to say.
This just turned from a self-help podcast back to
a real one.
I need help podcast.
No, I'm good. I'm great.
Okay.
I'm really good. But I just want to tell all of you, the only way through anxiety is action. And our friend, well, your sister-in-law, my friend, was nervous about something. And I encouraged her to just take it head on. And she did it. And she said she feels so much better. So I'm changing the world, is what I hear.
That's what you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should really take this approach.
With what?
Just in life.
What makes me anxious?
I'm saying nothing right now, but if it were to.
Nothing right now.
But if it were to, you could hear me in your head say, the only way.
But that is how I approach it usually. I'm like, I just have to do it. I don't have a choice.
Well, you're welcome. Probably because I said that to you at some point.
Yeah, okay. Subliminally.
It's like the butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho's.
I would say the only major news from the last few days on my end was Jack did start school. I know you were all wondering.
How'd it go?
He got on the bus.
He really did get on the bus, which I was nervous.
And speaking of someone with anxiety, the only person who was asking me like anxiety inducing questions was you. You literally asked me yesterday, what happens if he doesn't get on?
Yes, you're welcome. I was trying to encourage preparedness.
No, it's not an option for him to not get on. He's getting on.
I just wanted you to think about all of the options.
But who even thinks about that? I wasn't even thinking he's not getting on. I was like, he will get on.
I think it's pretty realistic that a kid who's 3 and never been on a bus might have a meltdown, and the bus isn't going to wait forever.
Well, they do wait a little bit on the first day.
Totally. But I'm just saying, what was your plan if you didn't get on? That empowers me. Like, I like it. Oh my God, you love to ask me 5 million questions. What happens if this happens? What happens if this happens?
That's because that empowers you.
I was just saying those are things that could happen, and it's good to have a plan.
Well, I don't want to plan for him to not get on.
I am certain there are kids in the world who have not gotten on the bus on their first day.
I'm sure.
Like, that doesn't seem crazy to me.
But we did a ton of the talking prep, like weeks of being like, and then at the end of summer, you're going to take the bus to school. It's going to be so fun. The bus, every time we'd see a bus, he'd be like, bus. We'd be like, yeah, you can only go on when you're a little bit older.
I'm so glad. This actually came from you saying at the end of his Meet the Teacher, you were like, okay, and you're going to take the bus alone tomorrow and come here. And he was like, no. So I was like, he's not sure.
Well, he will say that when like you say something crazy to him, like he'll be like, well, I'm going to go to the pool. And you're like, okay, well, no one's going to the pool. So are you going to go by yourself? And he'll be like, yeah. And you're like, oh, Jack's going to go by himself. Okay. So like, this is like
his bit.
He'll just say things like that. Like, are you going to get on the bus by yourself? And he thought it was like, we were kidding. Like, no. And I was like, yes, though.
Yes.
You really are.
Well, he did great. So no worries.
Yeah, Meet the Teacher was kind of like a, throwaway.
I'm sure it makes it easier so kids know where they're going.
No, it was nice for him. It was just like at that age, it's not like they're going to like, talk about the curriculum.
Right. It's just literally to put a face to a name.
Yeah, like see the classroom. He has a locker. Look around. Play with the Legos.
Get acclimated.
Yes. And then the next day, usually like we'll bring him to daycare in the morning. But we were like, you're going to take the bus. And then once you're at school for a little bit, then they're going to take you on the bus to daycare. And he was like, okay. But who knows how much they understand.
I mean, enough to feel comfortable.
I guess, yeah. Bus pulled up, doors opened. He had to, like, climb on because they're big steps.
Yep.
And he sat right down in the front row, the first seat there, and was waving at us from the window. But then the bus driver came and told him he can't sit there.
Why can't he sit there?
Because, like, she had all the kids sitting in a certain area.
Oh, got it.
So she, like, told him to, like, get up and move to a different spot.
He was like, what?
So then she, like, moves him to a different seat, and, like, there's, like, a harness they put on them, so they can't actually, like, get up and meander about the bus.
I was thinking about that.
Probably smart. Yeah, because, like, school bus seatbelts, what were those?
Well, I always think about how, like, there's so many rules about, and obviously I've been out of school for a long time, but there's so many rules about seatbelt safety. When I was growing up, school buses didn't have seatbelts.
I don't believe they did either.
And I don't think they still do.
Well, this one did.
I'm sure for the younger kids, but I'm like, you can get ticketed if, like, your 7-year-old isn't in a car seat or a seatbelt or, like, a booster. But then I can put them on a public school bus and they can just, like, bop around.
Well, I think it is different because, like, the seats are tall. I don't know. But it was more of, like, a harness. Like, it's, like, it goes over his shoulders. So I saw her buckling him in. And, like, we stood there waving till he was all buckled in. And then he looked out the window and we were like, bye. And then it pulled away.
And he did it.
And I don't know, it's not like he was wearing a body cam. So I don't know what happened after that. But it would have been interesting if, like, he was on FaceTime.
Or, like, a GoPro.
Yeah. You're like, how's it going? He's like,
hello?
Like, maybe he was anxious then when it pulled away, but we don't know.
Once it pulled, he was done.
I was a bus kid. Buses are fun.
No, I have nothing against buses. Tyler happened to take the dogs out that morning when, like, kids at our corner were waiting. And he came in and he was like, I think I saw a kid who's going to be on Jack's bus. And he kept saying, when is the bus coming? When is the bus coming? I said, did you say Jack's getting on the bus? He said, no, I didn't.
He looked Jack's age?
He looked, like, little. Like, he was waiting with his parents.
What's interesting is everything is so technological now. Like, as someone who rode the bus all the time.
Yeah.
Every day when I was little. Like, sometimes the bus was running late. Sometimes it was a couple minutes early. You just, like, had to be out at the stop. And
I probably struggled with that.
I missed the bus regularly.
Yeah.
I could not get on the bus.
That feels like a tall order.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it was.
Well, for you, for someone who's not with the time.
Who's not with the time. Well, I mean, like, there was some good shit on PBS in the morning.
That's true. The morning TV was always good.
Did you ever watch Face?
I don't think I did.
On PBS? No. It was just like, it was when we were little.
No.
It was like a color, just like a face talking on the TV.
No, I watched a lot of, oh my God, what was it? Hey Arnold in the morning.
Oh.
On Nickelodeon. I loved Hey Arnold in the morning.
I think Face was on, or Arthur. But yeah, you're sitting there watching, you're eating your French toast sticks.
You get sucked in.
Time flies by. Anyway, so now they have an app for the bus that, like, goes along with the school district.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so, like, you pull up the app and you can see exactly where the bus is.
Oh.
Like, the app told us the bus was going to be, like, 15 minutes late because it's the first day. Probably, like, some
getting
delays.
kids on.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it tells you get a notification, like, the bus has arrived at the school and so Jack's been dropped off.
I actually appreciate that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I want to, like, know where my kid is. My mother-in-law works in the school bus industry. Like,
yes. Big bus family.
She's, like, queen of school buses. And Tyler literally was, like, saying yesterday, he was like, I've never been driven to school. Like, the first time I drove to school was when I drove to school.
Yeah.
And he was like, the bus is fun. You make friends. Like,
it's fun.
You're excited in the morning. You, like, chat about stuff. And I was like, but it's so fun to ride with your family to school.
You bougie motherfucker.
Like, you get in the car with your family. And, like, my papa used to drive me.
Oh, your papa used to drive you?
He would always make me a snack or, like, a breakfast.
Oh.
And then, like, I'd get in the car and there would be, like, my bagel with a paper towel or, like, cut up apples and peanut butter.
I always think about a story that you told when we were at dinner with your grandma. May she rest in peace.
Maybe.
How your grandma was always running late.
Always.
And was never a morning person.
Yep.
And you were like, and I'd be sitting downstairs eating my breakfast, like chatting away with my great grandma, and your great grandma would make her cereal in the morning, like it'd be like sitting out for her.
Yes.
And your grandma would like run downstairs like a teenager at
She's a
like
teacher, by the way. She needed to go to school.
at like 55. She'd like run downstairs and like take 4 bites of cereal and be like, I gotta go. And you'd just be sitting there at like 4, like, bye, Momo.
Like, why can't you get to school on time? I don't understand.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I loved being driven to school, and I like the idea of driving my child to school.
Well, you and Tyler are gonna have a little debate when it comes time.
I think we'll end up being a bus to school pickup family.
Wait, what?
Like, take the bus to school, but pick them up from school.
Oh, okay. It's fun on the bus.
Because I think the morning probably is fun, but the end of the day, like, you just want to go home. I don't want to go on your route.
Well, yeah, also, I didn't take the bus home that much because you have after school activities.
Right.
Like, you have sports.
But, like, the bus stop in the morning is, like, chit-chat McGee.
Yeah, you're just hanging out.
And then I'll have time to, like, get a coffee.
You make coffee. You stand outside at the corner with them. They get on the bus. You have your full day.
I actually never thought about buses because I went to private schools that we couldn't use the public bus route.
Okay, that's interesting because my husband also went to private school.
Yeah.
And he was bused. They took the bus, but they had to be really early because they had to be before the public.
I went to school in Wisconsin, like elementary school.
Yeah.
My high school had buses, but like my elementary school didn't. And I don't know if like they didn't negotiate it with the district or like we just did not have buses.
There was no busing.
There was no bus.
Which was no problem for you.
No problem. I was like, why would I? And my family wasn't like, where's the bus?
They were like, well, of course there's 100 of us. We'll drive Jana. And then
One princess.
your great grandparents would drive you and just wait in the parking lot.
Well, no, that was preschool.
Okay.
That was because I made them promise they wouldn't leave.
And they didn't.
And they wouldn't leave. And then the teacher called my mom and was like, you need to make your grandparents leave. It's like really unhealthy. Jana stares out the window at them.
And looks like they're stalking our school.
Literally. My great grandparents in 1996 would sit outside the school. These people didn't have smartphones. Like, what did they do for 4 hours?
I'm sure your grandpa brought the newspaper.
My grandma was like, Swede, we are not leaving this parking lot. And he'd be like, okay.
I'd be like, go by yourself. I can't spend all day there.
They did. What else were they doing?
I don't know. Literally anything else. Plucking their eyebrows.
I don't know what they did for 4 hours.
Just waited.
Just waited.
Yeah, that was you. And Jack is the same age, and we're putting him on the bus.
You know what they should have done? They should have brought a decoy car. Left the car there.
Yeah, your great grandpa should have followed your great grandma.
Yes.
Left the car. They drive off.
Yeah. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
So that explains why this little princess here is concerned about the bus.
It wasn't a part of my routine.
But it's like you never took the bus one time, even if you had to sleep over at a friend's house.
There was no bus, like to elementary school.
When you were older?
In high school, no, because I lived really far from my high school. So there were buses. I just lived 40 minutes. So there was no bus route for me. I did take the public bus, like the Pace bus.
Did any of your friends take a bus?
To high school? I don't think so.
That's fascinating.
But I took the Pace bus. Well, spoiler alert, you already told everyone about my psychotic break a few days ago. And I had this like very irrational thought that was not true. Like I just was perseverating, which is my favorite thing to do. And no one could convince me of otherwise. It was a joy for everyone. And for the icebreaker, I'd like to know, what is something that you do that like I knew in the middle of my spiral, I was being crazy, but I couldn't pull myself out of it.
You did?
Well, no, that's not fair. I knew I was crazy the next day.
Okay, so not in the middle.
No, but I knew like very quickly after.
Okay.
Moments post spiral. What's something that you do that looking back, you're like, yeah, I know that's irrational, but I can't stop.
Like your example would be that story?
Yeah, like I perseverate on things that are not real. Like I convince myself that this intrusive thought. So to give it a little more context, it's like my thing for that is like I will let an intrusive thought that is so clearly not true and unrealistic take up home in my brain.
And then act as if it is true.
Act as if it's real.
But something so not real.
Right. Like, I'm like, what if this happens? And then suddenly I'm like, oh my God, that could happen. And then I'm like panicked.
But despite anyone being like,
It couldn't
it's
happen.
impossible for that to happen.
Exactly.
Like, you're like, and what if my car turned into a bicycle?
In certain instances, I like am like, what if this thing goes horribly wrong? And then all I can think about for weeks is like, what if that thing goes horribly wrong? I actually think it might be a really specific form of OCD, but have not visited a doctor for that.
We won't touch on that. Something I do that's like extremely irrational that I just continue to do despite.
Right. Like, it's just like, it's not great, but like, we've all got our quirks. Like, I'm sorry. I am who I am. I'm a million other things.
Charge my phone overnight even if it doesn't need charging.
Yeah. I mean, it works, but anything else more interesting? I actually don't think that's good for your battery either. But
No, I know, but I just like must plug it in.
I mean, it'll do if it's all you can come up with.
Well, you're saying things we do that are irrational that don't make any sense.
I don't know, like,
Yeah, can you think of another one?
I'll take it. I'll allow it.
Well, I'd like to come up with something real.
Like, your insanity about your bed.
What is my insanity?
Just like your bed is like, you won't eat in it. You don't really like most beverages in it. You're like always concerned with who's sitting on it, like what they're wearing, where's it been.
Okay, I'm sorry. This doesn't feel irrational to me.
That's what happens when it's irrational.
No. I must clarify. I don't want you to come in and sit on my bed in your outside clothes, specifically on my pillow. You'll like lean up against my pillow that I put my face on with your like pants that have been other places.
Not my pants. I'm not putting my ass on your pillow.
No, you're like leaning side to side on my pillow, laying on your side on my pillow.
And it sends you into a concerned spiral.
I don't want that.
You're like, but.
Why are you doing? Just like lay a blanket down.
I hear you. This is better. All right. So these two things I'll allow. Mine is mostly centered around intrusive thoughts and probably bussing at some point.
Bussing at some point for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of bussing, actually, do you still listen to The Daily?
It depends on what like the topic is. I do listen to it, just not every day.
Not to plug a different pod because
And
obviously this is the only news you need.
And we're really competitive with The Daily.
I mean, I don't know why you would need to get your news anywhere else.
But just like it's like The Daily and then us. So we're always curious.
Top of the charts.
We have a lot of crossover.
So The Daily did an episode called Why So Many Parents Are Opting Out of Public Schools. Last week, like late last week. And it was actually very interesting. I'll summarize. Okay, so you know how like the government, because public schools are like government funded and private schools are not. And so policymaking has always been about how to improve public schools, where to use our funding for public schools, et cetera, et cetera. But lately, especially like in the latest administration, they have talked about spending more money on giving parents opportunities to basically escape public schools and choose alternative options.
Interesting.
And so it kind of looks like a voucher for families.
Okay.
And it's a way that parents can spend taxpayer dollars to send their kids to private school or to homeschool them. And apparently over the last 5 years, we've doubled the number of students using some form of a private school voucher.
And so it like offsets the cost?
Yes.
Okay.
So like if you don't want to send your kid to public school like you
don't pay that portion of taxes or something?
Yes, you get a voucher that helps to afford your private school.
Interesting.
More than 1 million kids are using public dollars for some form of private education now. And it's starting to have a really big impact on public schools because 2/3 of traditional public schools have lost enrollment numbers, which is like a ton.
That's crazy.
With the, let's call it alternative schooling, just
Right.
because it includes private and like
Charter
and homeschooling.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
the whole gamut. And So number one, the reason for the public school decline, people are having fewer kids.
Okay.
So there's just less kids in
To
school.
go to school.
And that's mostly because of the economy. People are like, I can't afford.
I'm being economically conservative.
And that like the more expensive it is, the less kids you have. You were actually just saying this the other day about, do you remember?
No.
Oh, you were nodding, but you
I was hoping I was going to
the
get
Real Houses of New York.
Oh, right. Yes. How like in New York, they only had one kid on
Like
that
a
show.
lot of the housewives of New York have one child, and it's because it's so fucking expensive to raise a child in New York that
I can't
like
even imagine.
they can only afford to have one, even though they're so rich. Were they so rich then though?
Most of them had money.
Wealthy, yeah.
Yeah, wealthy.
So this says it makes sense that if the child population is going down, public schools lose enrollment. But also there's at the same time, there's like an explosion of school choice, which is brought on by the availability of these vouchers. And when a kid decides to use one of these vouchers to leave public school, they take public money with them. So like every student who goes to public school has like a dollar sign above their head. Like,
Right, because they're helping the overall income of the funding.
yes, like it's like, well, if your enrollment is at 501, then each student is worth, thousands of dollars.
It's so interesting because back in the day when I went to private school, we were still paying all our taxes for me to go to public school.
Plus, yes, this is like a new
Like this would have been nice in 1995.
a new idea. Okay, so I guess the idea kind of started in the 90s when you were saying,
Okay.
but it wasn't really rolled out. But basically, the voucher idea was proposed for kids who, for one reason or another, their public school won't serve them well. So perhaps they live in like an area that's zoned for an underperforming public school. And so they're not going to be challenged in the way that they need to be. Or it's a student with a specific disability. And so the school that they're supposed to go to won't help them.
It's like a need for different services.
Yes. And so the voucher program kind of like crept up for students in that particular scenario.
I think it's kind of a slippery slope though, and I obviously know nothing about this. But that's like saying you should get a voucher if you don't drive a car. Like, why am I paying for the betterment of a road system? And like, I never mail anything. You know what I mean? Like, I think that is kind of a slippery slope.
What do you mean?
Because you're giving them a voucher, basically saying like, I'm assuming it has something to do with their taxes. It's not like they're giving you a coupon to take to your private school. You're just paying less to the government, which then results in less federal funding for the school. And the idea is that you're not paying these things because you're not using the services. Well, so much of our government funding is a blanket thing. Like, you might not use it all, but someone is.
You pay taxes and it just goes to the greater good.
Right. Like, I'm paying taxes right now. We don't have kids in school. I'm not paying less taxes because I don't have kids in school.
Right. No, you're right. Well, this says that a lot of this kind of blew up after COVID because people were so pissed with how schools, I guess public and private, how schools handled the COVID pandemic.
Which, I'm sorry, when people get pissed about shit like that, I'm like, I'm so sorry that everyone didn't handle the first global pandemic exactly as you had hoped.
No, really, like there was no rule book.
We
for
didn't
this.
know.
What were we supposed to do?
We didn't know.
But they, had to homeschool, and then some schools went back to school, but they were like, you had to wear a mask, and people, remember people
why
were
were people
weird
so
about
mad
masks.
about that?
I don't know. They were like, you can't make us wear a mask. It was like, okay.
I hate people.
I'll always remember that. I can't remember what like comedian or someone said it, but they said that wearing a mask with like, you'll see people walking around with their nose sticking out of the top of the mask. Like they like are wearing it, but they're not really wearing it because their nose is out, and it's like walking around with your pants with your dick hanging out. I would always think about that.
Oh, that's funny.
So it came from people being just pissed with their school and being like, well, what are my other options? Like a lot of people before this were not thinking like,
where else can I go?
What's my other option? But COVID kind of
Spurred sparked this.
Sparked it.
Sparked it.
Okay, so when Trump signed that, big beautiful bill,
Yeah.
that included a tax credit that would go to fund private school vouchers, potentially across the country. And now the vouchers are getting even more generous because it's become so popular. So it could be $5,000 or so, $7,000, $8,000, up to $10,000. And for some students with disabilities, it could be up to $30,000 a year to send your kid to a different school.
I mean, I'm impartial because, like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, why am I double paying? But I think there's bigger implications.
But the way the laws are written, part of the issue is that you could pay for traditional private school tuition, but it can also be spent on a computer that your child would use to do homeschooling from home. Or it could be spent on a test fee to take the SAT or an AP test. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just all education based.
It doesn't have to be spent on
School.
And the arguments against the vouchers are that they don't really cover the full price of private school. Obviously, it makes it easier, but it's really mostly upper middle class and affluent families who take advantage of it because
they can fill the gap.
They can fill that gap. Yeah. If it's not covering the full cost anyway.
Totally.
So it's just making it more affordable for
people who can afford it.
Yep.
I feel like that's literally the world though. Like I always think about that when like influencers get a bunch of free shit. I'm like, they don't need free shit. They can afford it.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Send the free shit to the people who need the free shit.
And now there's some new critiques because in some states, parents have attempted to collect reimbursements from this bill for buying a trampoline, which they've said is part of their physical education curriculum in their homeschool.
Okay, well.
Or another one was for visiting a theme park, which they called a field trip.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
So, of course, it can spiral into a million other ways. But basically, the gist is that we're seeing like a major decline in public schools and a rise again in privates, which have been on the decline for a long time. And it's one, because people are getting vouchers to go, and two, because people are not happy with their public schools.
I mean, I always think it's good to have both. Like I think the competitiveness between the two behooves everyone. Like it keeps everyone on their toes. Like public schools know you have another option. Private schools know that they have to do something to get you in the door that's a little bit more cutting edge than the public schools. It's like having that sort of competitive market makes both better.
What's crazy about publics is that like they really do have the upper hand. It's like you just live here.
Totally.
Like you don't get to choose.
You have to come here.
You have to come here. So like of course they want to make the school great because hopefully they're in the business of like serving children and families. But
it's a business.
Yes, it's a business, and also like they want people to live in the community, but like it's not like they're like, well, pick us. Like they're like, look around, motherfucker.
It's us.
It's us.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. I think it's so foreign to me. Like I never went to a public school until college. So like public school seems wild to me. Like the wild, wild west.
I think there's pros and cons of both.
Totally. I'm not saying one's bad. It's like, it's just something I never, like I had friends in high school who went to public elementary school. And I knew people who I went to elementary school who ended up going to the public high school.
Yeah.
So like they had both experiences to compare. Like public school to me seems so crazy. Like you wore whatever you want. And there were like 4 different 4th grade classes. And there were buses.
Was there only one class?
Max 2 at any school I ever went to.
Wow.
And so it just seemed like, and there was always the threat of expulsion. Like public schools really, you have to fuck up majorly for them to kick you out.
For you to get kicked out, yes.
Not at a private school. At the beginning of the year, you sign a code of conduct. And if they don't like it and you messed up, you're out.
It weeds out the weak.
Yeah, totally. But like there was always this like idea that like it would be like whispers, like so-and-so got kicked out. I mean, it didn't happen a lot, but like, or so-and-so was about to be kicked out, so his parents pulled him out. You know, like that sort of thing. It was always a him. How many girls getting kicked out?
Not a lot of girls, no.
But so it's just so crazy to me. I don't understand it.
Busing in public schools, you just...
Blind spot for me.
It's like you're here from a totally different country.
I'm actually from somewhere else.
Like, no, really. You're like, and I've moved here from Antarctica.
No, it feels that way sometimes. Just the sheer idea of having to have that many clothes would feel overwhelming. I wore a uniform until I was 18.
I think the uniform thing is nice because, like,
I wish public schools would do uniforms.
it just makes it, like,
It's an equalizer.
simple. Yeah. I do kind of wish, though, that, like, there's so much research that shows that, now probably gonna get canceled for saying anything about gender, but I was just gonna say single sex private schools and, like, camps,
Like for boys or for girls.
sororities, yes, like things that are like for boys or for girls have so much more of an impact socially because there's no like mix. Like there's a lot of people who say they went to like an all boys school or an all girls school and like they had like a sister school
Yeah.
who they like did stuff with, but like in the actual like academic, sports, etc., there was none of the like
Crossover.
drama of mixing.
Yeah.
And of course now people are like gay and you know, so it's
Now,
not,
well, people were gay then, but they just weren't talking about
right,
it.
but yeah, they weren't talking about them, but like, so it's not so
Straightforward.
straightforward, but I have heard that that's like actually the most beneficial.
My mom went to an all-girls high school, and she raved about it.
She loved it.
Loved it.
I think most people who go to all girls or all boys school are like, that's the way.
Lit.
But we don't really have that.
No, I was saying to my mom the other day because she was talking about some friend, and she was like, yeah, they're in Texas, and like I'd love to go visit her, and she was saying I could stay with her, and I was like, the chances of me letting like someone outside my 4 friends from high school I still talk to stay at our house are crazy. And my mom was like, why? And I was like, I don't know, like I haven't seen you in 15 years, like, and my mom's like, it's different. I went to an all-girls school. I go, what do you mean? She's like, we just like, there was a comfortability, like everyone was like so themselves. It was so like easy.
It would be like someone from the sorority.
Like, yeah, exactly. She was like, it was just like there were 100 and something of us, and like,
would you feel more likely to let someone who you weren't close with from the sorority?
yes, I said
Exactly.
that. And my mom was like, you just like knew them to their core. And I was like, that is so interesting.
It's something about single gender.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, damn. I was like, well, hopefully she's not a murderer. She's like, she's not. I knew her.
Okay, she's not.
Last week was some exciting baby news. Did you see that Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bon Jovi adopted a baby?
So I actually saw that like they welcomed their first child.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this bitch was pregnant. Didn't they just get married?
And she
like,
did so much press. That's what I thought.
yeah. And then it said they adopted their first child. And I'm confused because they're 23.
Yeah, she's always been open to adoption. And
Since she was 10, she's
Basically,
23.
Basically. So I listened to her on Call Her Daddy, and like for some reason, you know how that happens with me, I fell down a rabbit hole of her.
Sure.
I actually never watched Stranger Things, so it was kind of like the first thing I ever saw with her. And she talks and has talked a lot in the press about how her parents were super young. Like her mom was 21, I think. Her dad was like 19 or 20 when she was born. And she has like
They're still together.
They're still together. She has 3 or 4 siblings. Jake has 3 or 4 siblings. Like, she was like, when Jake and I first started dating, I was like, I want to be a young parent. It's very important to me. And she had talked a lot previously. I think I kind of, before she obviously adopted, thought it was like, a down the road thing they'd adopt. But she was like, I don't see any difference, which I don't either, between adoption and having your child biologically. And so we're open to whatever makes sense for us at the time. And I guess adoption made sense.
Isn't that kind of a long process? Like,
Maybe not if you're Jake Bon Jovi and Millie Bobby Brown.
yeah, you're like, anyone have a child?
You're probably bumped to the front of the list. I mean, it depends on the sort of adoption they're doing, like international, domestic.
It's so crazy because I just saw this girl I went to high school with has like posted, about her fertility journey.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it infertility journey?
I actually don't know.
Okay, well, one of those. And how like, she's always been open to adoption, but she has been trying to get pregnant for the longest time, whatever. And then I think, I'd probably have had to keep up with her a bit more, but I guess they were like in the adoption process for a long time while also still trying to get pregnant. And then she posted like a week ago and was like, the craziest thing happened. Like, we've been on an adoption list, and usually like you work with like a family who's like pregnant, like a traditional whatever. But like this baby was born and like taken home and then surrendered like 2 days later.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, and they're in our area, and they said like, if you can come and take the baby now, like
It's yours.
It's yours. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. Like the hospital has a list of people who are willing to foster or adopt like close by. And they were first on the list, and they got called, and they went and picked her up and had like a daughter in an hour.
That's so crazy. I've seen stories like that online.
Isn't that crazy? And so she was like,
that's amazing.
Luckily, but like you have to have your house like ready. Like that's how you are on the list. Like they had like a nursery, which is also so sad. It's just like in their house empty.
Wow.
But she was like, we have everything for a newborn because like
we've been waiting.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good for them.
And now they have like this cute little baby.
That's incredible. I love when stories work out. Yeah, I don't know if they were in a similar situation or if they did work with a birth mother who picked them or what it was, but she said they welcomed her this summer. So I don't know if that's like 2 weeks ago or in June.
Not to rain on her parade at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because
sounds like you might.
Tov. It's just so crazy to adopt at 23. Like it feels like a process that takes years.
I don't think adoption has to take years.
It doesn't have to.
No, I've known of people who like, I think it used to. I think there's a lot more red tape. But I think depending on your willingness, like exactly what you're saying, yes, if you're like, we want to adopt from this region or we want to adopt a newborn.
We only want a baby from California.
Yeah, like if you want to adopt someone that you know the birth parents, or like if you have a lot of specifications, I'm sure it can become a longer process. But if you're willing and waiting and like vetted, sadly, I think there's probably a lot of children who need a home. Like I'm sure if you're willing to take a 6-month-old or like
Totally.
It just depends on, I know a lot of people when they're in the adoption process, or I guess I assume they're like, I want a newborn who I can take home from the hospital.
Well, I mean, if you're in that position where like you just want a baby and like you also want to like help like a baby that was given up. I don't know. I just feel like, does a newborn versus 6 months really matter?
I don't, but I don't think it matters at all, but I'm sure people do. I think that everyone has their own set of priorities, and I'm sure there's people when they adopt who are like, I really want an open adoption, or I really want a closed adoption, or I really want to get to know the birth mother, or...
Open adoptions seem hard to me.
They do, but I know I read an article, this was years ago, about how there's like people who think an open adoption is better for the child because it eliminates questions. I don't know. I feel like it might be confusing.
I'm sure it gives them more of like a sense of identity.
And like better,
this is, yeah.
But you have to be, all parents involved have to be really vulnerable.
Yes.
And really open. Because I'm sure there's a lot of dynamics at play.
Yes.
Something I'm probably incapable of.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting. But congrats to them.
I'm so excited for them. She is one of those people who seems older.
Like her vibe.
Her vibe, her energy. Like she got married so young. I just think she is like an old soul.
Okay. Well, I hope many, many more children to come then.
Yes, they want at least 4. She had said at one point.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
We'll do the dilemma really quickly. I just had a piece of good news to share.
Ooh, good news, please.
Have you heard the storied tale of Bam Bam, the Chicago dog?
Oh, who's reunited with his owner. Yes.
We didn't talk about it on here, but I've been following closely.
Bam Bam.
So a legally blind man in the city has a 14-year-old dachshund who is his service dog, Bam Bam. And he was stolen from his backyard in Logan Square on June 5th, which is so fucked up.
Like, you're an actual piece of shit.
Someone took his dachshund, and he, of course, reported to the police, who don't really care when someone's dog is stolen. But this man was, like, so devoted to his dog.
Oh, my God.
A 14-year-old dachshund. Like, the dog doesn't have much time left, even.
So sad.
And he said 2 unknown people entered through his gate and took the dog, and then never to be seen again. Like, the dog was running around playing in the backyard, gone. How horrible is that?
Sick.
And so he started walking 7 miles a day, handing out flyers all over the city, calling out Bam Bam's name in hopes of finding him.
I'm going to cry. Oh my God.
Looking for Bam Bam, this blind man is walking around the city with his walking stick. How sad is that? And because he was walking around giving out flyers to so many people, the word started to spread because no one wanted to help him before. I mean, I'm sure dogs get lost or stolen all the time, but like, come on.
God damn it.
So a GoFundMe was started and almost $20,000 was raised to go towards the search efforts, including reward money, printing flyers, volunteer groups, etc. In the last month, there have been search parties every day in different neighborhoods of the city.
Calling out Bam Bam's name.
People like really rallied together and were like knocking on doors. Like, have you seen Bam Bam? And the flyers were like, if you see someone walking a dog that looks like this, please report it. And he has been located.
And the people that took him shot?
No, I mean, details are really skimpy right now, but 2 people who came in and said they don't want to be identified
because they stole him.
No, said that they found this dog and dropped him off at the precinct in Humboldt Park. And so when they get a dog dropped off like that, they call like the found dog hotline, whatever. And because of his like identifying whatever
notoriety,
someone at the hotline was like, that might be Bam Bam, and was like, this is him, and called him, and he was reunited with him at the police station.
Oh my God. Those people definitely took him.
Yeah, absolutely. Rotten hell.
Like, you don't want to be identified because you're a criminal.
You stole a blind man's service dog, and he spent every day walking 7 miles a day calling out his name.
Oh my God. I'm so happy they're together.
Reunited.
I would literally fucking lose my shit if someone took one of my dogs. I would freak the fuck out. It'd be like that Liam Neeson movie, Taken.
Well, this dilemma is dog related.
Oh my God, they're playing at my heartstrings, okay?
So this person wrote in and said that she has 2 dogs who are like the lights of her lives. They're both golden doodles, which, you know, can be bouncy, energetic dogs. And her husband got them like a year apart. They like take them everywhere. They're like so attached to them. And they just recently had a baby. And one of the dogs does not like the baby.
Oh no.
And she said like nothing's happened yet because we're always like holding the baby. But like he'll walk by and sniff it and start like sneering.
That's a major problem.
Like he's gonna like bite it or something. And so they're afraid to leave the baby like in a bouncer, like on the floor. They're afraid of this dog who's like their little baby. And they're like, number one, we can't separate these dogs because they're bonded. And number 2, like, is this something that we can fix? Like she said, we've talked to a few different trainers and they've said like they'll work with them, but like in the meantime, you just have to be really careful. Like it's not a risk you want to take. And so she wrote in and she said like, we don't know someone who would take the dogs, but like we could start looking. But the idea of giving up their dogs is like not.
It's devastating. That is so interesting. I wonder if the dogs were like ever around kids before. Because golden doodles usually are like pretty kid friendly.
I don't know. Maybe like a baby cried really loudly one time and now it's triggered.
I'm triggered. I have anxiety. Did you know?
Like, what would you do if Fran hated your baby?
Oh my God. I can't even allow myself to go there. I will say, like, I am grateful because our dogs have been around a lot of babies. I think that is the key. And it was just like not something we necessarily planned for, but like our dogs are around a lot of kids. And so it makes it, they're more used to it. Like Jack could literally like bop her on the head and she's like, anyways.
He specifically loves Franny.
He loves Franny. So she's like, oh, Jack hit me, moving on. Like they're used to it. Yeah. So that's why I was curious if like they'd ever been around them. I'm sure they're doing this. I've seen a lot of research about like the way you're supposed to introduce a dog to a baby. Or baby to a dog, however you want to say it, that like you're supposed to, when the nursery is like done, you're supposed to leave the door open and let the dog go in there as much as they want. Like don't make it a
sniff around.
Yeah, like don't make it a part of the house that's not their territory, because then they feel more territorial over it. And put like a dog bed in there and like encourage them to like stay in there.
Wow, I didn't even know that, but I did put a dog bed in there because I knew that Oliver would be following me in there for late night feedings.
Yeah, they say you're supposed to like give them a thing that smells like them in there. So they're like, oh, this is part of my house too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you bring the baby home, people will like try and like bring the dog away, I guess, and like then bring the dog back. I guess that's not smart.
Why? Why would you take the dog away?
Because they say, I don't know, people think it's like a better thing for acclimation. People say the dog feels more threatened. Because, like, they had to leave their house for 2 weeks and they come back and there's a baby and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. Who moved you
It's like
in?
that TikTok, like, I'm the owner of this house. Like, I'm sorry, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
So all of that. And then what was really interesting, I read this article that said you're supposed to take a dog toy, like a brand new dog toy, and, like, put it by the baby's stuff a lot and take the baby's blanket and put it in the dog bed. And keep swapping their smells. So like every couple of weeks, give the dog a toy that smells like the baby.
What if the dog is territorial over toys?
It's a new toy. You don't want to put like a dirty toy in the baby stuff. Like get like a bunch of new toys, but like make sure it gets like saturated in the baby scent. And then like give it to the dog.
Just like spill some milk
on. Yeah, like just like make it so like they're like, oh, these smells go together. There's no difference. Because they're so smell oriented that usually the dog is like responding to a smell that doesn't belong in their house.
Yeah.
So if you've tried all those things, I mean, ultimately, I hate to say it, your baby is the priority. So I would try a behaviorist. I would maybe ask someone to watch them for a couple of weeks until you can really do the work. Because it's just too risky once they're like snarling at them.
Yeah.
And then work with a behaviorist. Like I'd throw as much money as I could at the situation. Like
before getting rid of your
let's
dogs.
get the best behaviorist we can here.
We're gonna fly this person in from Ireland.
Literally, like, oh, I'm sorry, you live in the Congo? Okay, that's fine. And just, I mean, ultimately, your baby has to take precedent. But I would always want to rehome them to someone I know.
I'd happily take Fran.
Okay, well, that's not an option. not throwing that out there. But thank you for saying.
I'm just trying to make it nice for you.
Oh, I made it nice, Dorinda.
Just in case.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the offer. And the same is true. I'd take Bear and Olive. Franny and Ruby would be so happy if Bear lived here. Oliver, they're like, why don't you like us?
Oliver, they'd be like, he doesn't
do much, but I guess he can live here.
I'll just say that I would agree that like it wouldn't even occur to me to get rid of them.
Oh, would never occur to me.
It's like getting rid of your foot. Like,
truly.
This foot is like hurting and causing me problems, but like I'll have to do rehab.
It's my foot.
But it's my foot. Like it's here. Like if like one day someone runs over your foot and then you like don't do physical therapy for it, and so you're like limping and the foot is like really sore, you're not like, I'll just amputate it. You're like, I've got to fix my foot.
Totally.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I agree, but I do know that sometimes there is no way. Like I have heard of stories where dogs are just really aggressive. And babies are so unpredictable. That's the scary thing.
No, I know. That wouldn't even like come to mind as an option. Like it would be like, well, we've got to figure something out. I just actually said that to my mom because her neighbor had to get rid of her dog. Like she had a cute little fluffy dog who she'd always see out walking, Chester.
Oh.
And her neighbor is like 76. And I guess she had a fall. So she like hurt her knee and her hip or something. And so she can't walk the dog at all or really like pick the dog up. And so the dog is like 6 years old. And she called the vet and was like, I'm just like not able to take care of him. Like, and they were like, we'll reach out to some of our families. And they found a family through the vet's office that would take the dog.
Oh my God.
But I was like, this woman is like a 76-year-old widow who like had this cute dog she was always walking. Can't you like pay someone to come just take the dog on a couple walks a day?
Yeah, I mean,
getting rid of the dog is the next option.
Insane to me.
I mean, I'll have to move to an assisted living facility where they can walk my dog then. We are a team.
I will say I got a dog, Harry, when I was right out of college. And
this is different.
No, but I'm just saying I got this dog here when I was right out of college, and I could have never imagined, like when I got this dog, I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. Like this is my dog for life. And I lived at home for a year. He really bonded to my mom. And by the time I tried to make him move to the city with me, he had a psychotic break.
By the time I tried to make him move to the city, yeah, he did not want to move to the city. He didn't even like being in the city.
No, he hated the city. He missed my mom. He missed the house. Like, he was miserable. And so, like, I was sad to move on from that, but like, he was happier.
It was for his own betterment.
But I'm saying, like, if the dog is this like overwhelmed by being by a baby, like, that form of aggression is also stressful for them. Like, at a certain point, you're doing the best you can for him. Like, he wants to be with his sibling. You're going to do them together. Like, you're making a shitty situation as good as you can. And you're doing it for both of them. Like, it probably feels selfish because you feel like you're picking the baby. But, like, he's not happy in that scenario either. Like, no dog who's that, like, worked up in their own home is getting peace.
I don't know what the solution is, but I feel like if you can, like, afford to and, like, mentally try and figure out a way to like do some training.
Oh, for sure, if you can afford it. But we can't like pull out of your kid's college fund for this.
Just like when you have a dog, like when I got Oliver.
Wait, you wouldn't take Ruby?
Yeah, I'll take Ruby.
Oh, you were like, I'll take Franny.
Well, I mean, I'll take Franny and they're just a package deal.
Oh, right. Oh, wow. Okay. I think Franny wouldn't be like, Ruby has to come with me. I think Ruby would be like, Franny can go.
No, really. Franny, it would be like, isn't Ruby coming? And Ruby would be like, we're separating, bitch.
See ya.
I heard this really rich family wants me.
Literally.
I was going to say, like, obviously I'm so attached to Oliver. Like, I love Bear too, but how much can you love a dog that comes around later in life?
I mean, a lot, but not for you. Not a similar scenario.
And like, everyone was like, when you have a baby, it's so different. Like, your dogs are your babies. Your dogs are your babies. But then when you actually have a baby, like, you'll look at your dog so differently. And I'm not kidding you. When I missed Oliver so much when I was in the hospital, which was for one day. When I got home, I walked in holding Jack, and I could not have handed him off quickly enough. I picked up Oliver and was like, home.
Oliver's like, Jack, you'll learn to adjust.
No, like, I didn't feel that way at all.
I mean, I can't imagine a world. Like, I have 2 children already.
Like,
Franny and
my
Ruby.
family and you guys were waiting at home for me. I was like, someone will hold this baby while I hold Oliver and give him a million hugs and kisses.
No, dogs are babies.
I don't understand
And people
that.
who don't have dogs don't get it.
They don't.
Like, they really don't. But they're babies.
Sometimes, like, cuter
Definitely puppies are cuter.
than babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puppies?
So little and fluffy.
Yeah, and Fran.
And my dogs are literally, all of our dogs are permanent puppies.
Yeah. So, anywho's.
Sorry to go on this tangent. I know things are dark for you.
That's our advice. I think, like, I don't think it doesn't sound like you've tried 1,000,001 things to make it work. And I think, like, I personally would only be able to really, like, sit with myself if I had tried 1,000,001 things and they didn't work.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it sounds like that's what your plan is. So do that, but also take peace. Like, once you do 1,000,001, I don't always think where there's a will, there's a way. Sometimes where there's a will, you have to be flexible.
Yeah, and of course, the safety of, like, your baby is the most important thing at the end of the day.
And remember, you're doing it for him also, the dog. Like, he's not happy there either.
Right.
Don't feel like you picked one over the other.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, though.
Good luck. Let us know.
Good luck. I'll call you later.
Call you later.
Love you. Bye.